So yes, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast, guys. Welcome back. My name is Kosi, and this is the first edition of your Transfer Daily on a Sunday, where I do wrap up all the transfer stories that have been happening at Arsenal. Now, this is not like a wrap up because we have not been doing so many of them over the weekend, or over the week, not actually over the weekend. And this is your AFC Sunday transfer edition. I'm gonna be looking at that £57 million that Arsenal could actually spend on 3 players in the summer. Some of those players tipped to be as close as a whisker away, and of course some of others decisions have to be made, especially on players like Ceballos. David Luiz to get a new contract at Arsenal. This is absolutely overwhelming, hilarious. I didn't expect Arsenal to go this bad. You can't tell me we're giving Luiz a new contract, but we're gonna be talking about that, that and more, and 3 players: Tomas, Eduoard, Ceballos, as well as Brian Gill. So smash the like button, get your subscriptions in, because we are already in to settle for the party. Who do you think should Arsenal sign first? Ceballos, £22 million, Eduoard, £15 million, Tomas, £20 million. We're going to be discussing that and more in relation to Arsenal. What do we need? Who do we need? Is Mikel Arteta crazy? Because I don't see anyway, in any way, I don't see how Arsenal will benefit from signing a player like Ceballos. He's been with us for 2 years, and for me, I think he has failed in the Premier League. But we're going to be discussing that and more after you guys do smash the like button. Alright, the first place to start is none other than Celtic, where we are linked with Eduoard, £15 million. Of course, this story came out last week on Tuesday, when the Sun actually broke it that Celtic will be willing to sell Eduoard at £15 million. And there's so many, there are so many stories on what is going wrong at Celtic, what the hell is going on wrong at Celtic. Everything is so wrong at Celtic. They're almost 15 points away from table leaders Rangers, so it looks like their title hopes have been washed away this season. But that's not all. All the signings, all the players they signed actually did not work out, and the club is an absolute mess. Also, Eduoard is their top scorer this season, and we did a video about him. 15 goals, 10 from open play, 5 penalties. Top scorer. He's been their top scorer consistently for the past 3 years. So I think losing Eduoard means losing Celtic right now, and they're willing to, they're willing to let him go at £15 million. Maybe we can actually allude to the fact that maybe they're having financial issues. They're having financial problems, which we know the COVID-19 brought onto almost every small and big club in the UK and even in Europe, because I think clubs like Real Madrid are struggling, clubs like Barcelona, Arsenal, Inter Milan, all of those clubs are actually struggling because of their finances being very, very awful due to COVID-19. So Arsenal could actually get Eduoard at £15 million. That's the first player we are looking at. I want you guys to give me your thoughts about him. He's a good striker. I think he's one of the things I really like about him. Putting the penalties away, he's consistent, and I really do like consistent strikers. At Arsenal, we have taken so long without having a consistent striker, a striker who can give you 2-3 consecutive seasons. It could have been Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but I think his 3rd season is crap. He's becoming a little bit, messy. But apart from that, I think Aubameyang is trying to do that. I've seen players like Robin van Persie trying to do it, but of course Van Persie didn't do it. For me, he's shown in 1 season, then we sold him, that was the end of him. Alex Sanchez, I would say, he tried to do it for 2 consecutive seasons. That one I do appreciate. Thierry Henry, of course, did it, and a couple of other players. Don't mention Olivier Giroud, he was not a success at Arsenal. But Eduoard there, I mean, what are your thoughts? Because everybody's gonna give you their own view of the story, because my view of the story is you bring in a player like Eduoard, who's young at 15 million, you let go of Alexander Lacazette, who you could actually harvest 20 million from. that's good business. I mean, that's good business. You have a 5 million, you have 5 million left. Of course, like I said, 20 million is going to be a loss, because I don't think he has actually been a success at Arsenal. He's not been a successful story or anywhere close to being inspirational at the club. But again, I think, it's time to do, it's time to move on. It's time to look at, business. Look at Eduoard. Is he going to give you what you need? Is he that kind of striker that can actually bang in the goals? For me, I think, yeah, he can. Is he going to take a lot of wages, more than Alexander Lacazette? No. And he's still young, 23 years of age. If he doesn't work out, you're going to sell him, go out there and then, get a better striker or get someone else. And for me, I think he's better than Balogun. He's better than Eddie Nketiah. He is a very good bench player to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, because we need to have a bench player to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And for me, that should be Odsonne Eduoard. Away from that, I want us to talk about Dani Ceballos, because Real Madrid is saying we have to pay £22 million for Dani. Now, the truth is, I like Dani. I should be very honest. I like Dani. I think he's a talented player, but is he a success at Arsenal? No. Do I want him to stay at Arsenal? No. So I think I'm just being honest. I'm just being so honest. I don't think Dani Ceballos is the kind of player that Arsenal should be signing right about now, especially in the summer. If you're driving out Eduoard, then that means you're actually working to bring in players that you actually think will take this club forward. And for me, Dani Ceballos is not, is not in that category. Last season, he was excused for so many reasons. He had an awful season. At the end of the season, in the FA Cup, he did so well, and Mikel Arteta, decided to bring him back. Of course, for me, I do understand that the reason as to why he brought back Dani Ceballos was courtesy of the financial situation we were in, and Real Madrid were willing to listen to another loan deal. But the problem now is that Real Madrid are saying they are not going to loan him the third time. We either buy him or we actually lose him. And for me, this is where it goes away from being personal, and we have to take in the hard decisions. We have to decide hard. We have to become that kind of club that is actually very, very stiff with decisions. And I think Ceballos should actually leave. I don't know what you guys think about it, but investing £22 million in Dani Ceballos, for me, is a wastage of money. It's a wastage of money. I don't know what you guys think, and I would like to know. I would like to know what you think about Dani Ceballos actually, staying at Arsenal for 22 million pounds. But I just think it doesn't work. I don't think we are signing a player because we want to be loyal to him. We should sign a player, because of merit. Is he done it? No, he has not done it. And I think Matteo Guendouzi has gone out there at Hertha Berlin and performed tremendously well. He deserves a chance at Arsenal when he comes back. That is, if we don't sell him. And I think he's better than Dani Ceballos. Last season and this season combined, the performances of Matteo Guendouzi have been actually better than those of Dani Ceballos. And I have no shame in saying it. I would rather bring back Matteo than actually stay with Dani. But away from that, we also have more stories coming on onto the Arsenal podcast. Of course, I'm going to be talking about another striker just after this. Smash the like button, people. Right, so another striker, Thiago Tomas. We did talk about Thiago Tomas on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, I still remember it was Monday. And we actually all did agree that Thiago Tomas should be that, should be that player that Arsenal is very, very close to, because there's so many rumors linking us to players. Arsenal is very close to a striker. Arsenal is very close to a forward. And all of us didn't know, but according to Euro Football Daily and The Sun, of course, I don't want to quote The Sun so many times on my shows. It makes me look weird. But Euro Football Daily say Arsenal is very, very close, and Mikel Arteta is actually very, very close to getting his first signing of the summer. £20 million, Thiago Tomas. Now, what is crazy about this deal is Arsenal have not scouted this boy for more than a year. Actually, he broke into Sporting Lisbon's first team last year, He's scored 5 goals in all competition. And for me, look, the apart from the statistics, he's 18-year-old. You know, he's 18 years old, and you know, there's so many stories about that, and everybody's gonna, you know, speak so much about it. But you know, the truth is, I don't know why we're going for a player like Thiago Tomas for 20 million when we can retain Fleury Balogun. I don't know whether Mikel Arteta thinks Thiago Tomas is the next one, Ronaldo, Eduardo, or what, but you know, I'm just not convinced. But he's, you know, 20 million, and all stories that are actually, all blogs that are actually reporting about this story are indicating that Arsenal is so close to, you know, to signing you know, Thiago Tomas for 20 million. So if you add that 20 million to the 20 million for Dani Ceballos and the 15 that could actually buy Hudson Eduoard, which I think would be a very nice deal, by the way. I would only go for the Hudson Eduoard deal. I wouldn't go for Thiago Tomas. No, look, there's no reason Arsenal is giving us to leave a proven striker like Hudson and go down in Sporting Lisbon to, you know, to buy a striker who is not yet established, not at Lisbon, not in the Portuguese league, not even at Europe. But I think Hudson has done it. He's played in the Europa League. He's played in the Champions League. I think, yeah, you know, you would go for Hudson. You would go for Hudson. And for Ceballos, my options are very clear. I wouldn't go for Dani Ceballos. It's the truth. I wouldn't go for Dani Ceballos. Now, away from Dani Ceballos and Hudson and Thiago, we have another problem. Arsenal is looking to extend the contract of David Louis. This is hilarious. This is crazy. I've been looking at stories around Arsenal. Of course, there's so many stories. Like I said, extending his contract, and it's like, are you mad? You know, you need to get some money out of him this season. David Louis extending his contract, that is absolutely making me deaf. There's so many crap stories around there, but David Louis, you know, staying as the player coach, actually, being part of the technical, you know, being part of the technical team. I don't know what you guys think about, you know, David Louis being part of the technical team. Of course, he's going to retire, and for me, I would rather see him go. I would rather see him go. And this is the problem. If people like Barkham, Thierry Henry, Marco Vermas cannot come back at Arsenal, it's because I don't know. I think I'm going to do a video about David Louis. Is David Louis an Arsenal legend? Or does he deserve to stay at the club? Because it really doesn't make sense for me. It really doesn't make sense for me. But smash like button, people. Get your subscriptions in. Use your comment, but you know, use your comment box on the video chat, and I'll speak to you very soon. Smash the like on this video, and I'll speak to you in the next one.